This is gonna be like a video about my most memorable PS4 games, right? So the most, memorable PS4 games, right? So looking, 5 to 10 years, looking back, what is the most memorable PS4 experiences, right? And yeah, so it's gonna be a mixed, genre here, and so first off, games like a God of War 2018, right? First of all, right? A Spider-Man 2018, Red Dead 2, Just Cause 3, Infamous Second Son, right? Devil May Cry 5, and so on. Spider-Man, definitely, because really looking at it, it's probably the perfect adaptation like a Spider-Man, right? A Spider-Man's struggles, like Spider-Man, like his powers and a traversal, right? A web swinging, right? All those things, right? And as well, I playing the game various uniforms and upgrades, and side missions and collectibles too. Collectibles that were very fun. The backpack collectibles, and yeah. So like I remember those, like those things, and as well the story as well. The story, Doctor Octopus, and you have Mr. Negative and Spider-Man, MJ, right? All those things, right? The Sinister Six later on. So Witcher 3 really, it's one of the first RPGs that I ever played, right? Tons of questing, right? Lots to do like in the world. A Gwent, like I remember the actual story and the drama, right? It's like a very well done a medieval drama or a medieval fantasy, right? And yeah, like it's just a very well done, right? The voice acting, the dialogue choices, the dialogue options, the decisions that you can make in various areas of the game, and yeah, like as well, like as the DLCs, there's two. Each DLC is like it's like its own game. Blood and Wine, and I can't remember the other one. Right? But yeah, Witcher 3, like definitely. Red Dead 2, this is probably the most immersive game I ever played, in how realistic it feels, in just the mechanics, the story, the movement, the actual drama going on, and the various personalities like in the characters. Like I've seen the characters interact, their motivations and their differences and similarities, right, and all that. Red Dead 2, tons of things to do: hunting, bounty hunting, right, animal hunting, right, crafting things like remedies and various arrows, right, and yeah, crafting various types of bullets, and yeah, Red Dead 2, right? It's a huge world, right? Every area, like in the map, what I very much I remember, every area I felt very different, right? There's various states and regions, right? Every area feels different, right? The snow area, the grassland area, the swamp areas, right? The desert areas, right? The forest area. So yeah, so many areas like in this game, feel very different, and yeah. Injustice 2, because I remember it for, very much, like I'm not much into fighting games, but I know Injustice 2, right, the crafting, the uniform system, which I wasn't very much like a fan of, right, no, like the actual crafting, but Injustice 2 is actually pretty, it is, a very fun, right, it is very fun, once you get like the hang of the combat, holding back to block, for me, I remember that was kind of like a problem, for me. Like I'm more used to holding R2 to block, or our right trigger, right? So various characters in the game, right? Batman, Superman, right? The Joker, Green Lantern, Aquaman, so on, Wonder Woman, and yeah, it's huge. The DLC characters and all that. Crash Bandicoot, definitely like one of the most difficult games I played. I'm not familiar with platformers, but yeah, this one like drove me crazy. But it's always, I remember this game again, the difficulty, but like it's a 3-in-1 game. It's a 3-in-1 game, and all these games were remade. So it's like a 3-in-1 remake. So it's a very great deal. 3-in-1 games, I wasn't, I'm a big, fan of, right? And yeah, I never played the original, right? So I never played the original. I don't have the context, but this game, man, it was very, it challenged me, but it's very engaging. I remember it's very engaging. The platforms, the loopholes, the enemies, the elemental areas, and yeah. Other games too, for example, Batman Arkham Knight, which is probably the first PS4 game I played. Batman Arkham Knight, which came with the bundle, the original PS4. Batman Arkham Knight, right, being Batman. So similar thing to Spider-Man. It's very much like, I feels like this is what I would feel like, to be Batman, right? So Batman, his gliding, the gadgets, the Batmobile, the talking to Alfred, right? The lore Batman, Catwoman, all those things, and the villains and all that, right? The side missions, right? Various side missions, the DLCs too as well, which some of them weren't as good as the others, but I remember there's the Mad Hatter one, and the Killer Croc, and the Mr. Freeze one, Risha Gula as well. But yeah, Batman, like it very much feels like a realistic take on Batman through like a video game lens, right? Certain story points like in the game weren't as good, right? For example, the Arkham Knight, and too much are reliant on the actual Batmobile, but but aside from that though, Arkham Knight, man, I tell you though, it was very fun and memorable. Like I remember this game, right? And yeah. See, Battlefield 1, one of the earliest, this is probably one of my most played multiplayer games. I put so much hours into this game, right? The multiplayer, right? Even though I struggle with it a lot, right? World War One weapons, World War One trenches, environments, right? And tanks and vehicles, right? So 1911, 1912, that's 10 years ago, right? 15 years ago. And yeah, it's been a while. So playing a Battlefield 1 though, like I love the modes. I just love the feel, like for the multiplayer itself. And the weapons as well. Most of them were semi-automatic. Back then they were more semi-automatic or a one-shot burst. They were very rarely fully automatic weapons. And yeah, the tanks, right? The tanks, I remember some of them were very OP. There's even planes, right? Attack planes like from World War One. And yeah, Titanfall 2, which is probably my favorite FPS campaign of all time. First person shooter campaign. I love Titanfall 2. The science fiction in it, the movement, the mechanics, the shooting mechanics, right? The a dialogue, and yeah, like it just feels like a very fun science fiction FPS game, right? Like a very fun, immersive at times, very immersive, and yeah, like it just feels. Playing the game though, like your character moves so fast. He can wall run, he double jumps, right? A Titan gameplay as well. There's various Titan classes, right? From various weapons and specials, and various types of grenades and lasers and shields and all that, right? So yeah, Titanfall 2 has a lot going for it. Lots of, again, what I love about it too is the movement, just the movement, but the classes, like in the Titans themselves, there's so much variety to be have and there's so much variety here. Like there's the Titan classes themselves, right? So yeah, Doom Eternal right beside it to Doom Eternal for its fast-paced, crazy, action-packed style, right? A glory killing Doom Eternal, the various weapons you get, Doom Eternal, the enemies you fight, Doom Eternal as well. I remember it for its, for the sequences and the areas and the secret rooms and all that, and yeah, and the bosses as well, the various bosses that you come across, and yeah, it has a very badass. This is one of my favorite game covers of all time. Probably it's a very badass, cool game cover, and yeah. Resident Evil 2 remake, which is probably one of my this is probably one of my favorite horror games, or horror games, right? From the resource management, the inventory management, the zombies, right? You moved very slow, right? But it was kind of, a Resident Evil 2 remake. So this is a remake. So I'm moving very slow, and it is like a zombie game, right? So yeah, Mr. X, Burkham boss, right? The Burkham mutation boss, and various areas that you go to, the police station, backtracking to find puzzles and documents to help with further puzzles and all that, right? And yeah, backtracking to unlock things like better inventory, better weapon slots, right? Better weapon attachments and all that, right? And yeah, Resident Evil 2 is very much a game of strategy. Strategy, saving up health items and ammo and quest items and all that, right? Devil May Cry 5, right? For its action pack, very crazy action pack, right? combat, right? And as well as four, right? So 4, I can also play as Virgil in the PS5 one, which is the same game, but it's just like the PS5 remastered. But yeah, so the various characters, the combat, the secret areas, right? The absolutely badass music, like the badass heavy metal type, music, a manga style music, and yeah, it's just very badass, right? Playing as Dante, Nero, it starts out slow, then it gets better over time. It gets better. You get more options over time in the combat, and yeah, like Devil May Cry 5, man, it's just crazy, especially like that final boss with Virgil, right? Or sorry, spoilers, right? So I fight Virgil like as Dante, then you fight Virgil as Nero, right? Like when Nero gets his Devil Trigger mode, right? And yeah, the same idea with Star Wars Jedi as Survivor. Very similar idea, right? I'm not familiar like with Star Wars, but I really like this game. The exploration, the combat was very fun, right? The pairing was fun, right? Jedi as Survivor, which came after this one, which came last year, does more like with the overall combat variety, but still this one does pretty well too. The lightsaber customization as well. There's puzzles, there's platforming, right? This one very much brought back memories of playing like a Jack and Dexter or like an old Ratchet and Clank type game at times with some of the platforming areas. Metal Gear Solid 5, one of the most memorable PS4 games because mechanic wise, just the movement, like you moved so fluent, you ran, how you got into cover, like the physics engine is so well done in this game. The physics engine is so well done. I think it's the same thing Hideo used for Death Stranding. It's slightly different, but yeah, it feels like a realistic military, like a very much like a realistic military third person shooter, right? But it's like a stealth game and it's / open world game. Even though the open world felt empty at times, and the actual story itself, although great visual presentation, it's so well done, but the story missed fragments, in the actual logic, and the villain wasn't as good in certain areas, right? And that the plot kind of lost its focus. But yeah, gameplay wise though, it is very fun. It is very fun, realistic, immersive, and yeah, various, a mother base, building a mother base. I remember mother base, right? Running, side missions as well, the side ops, which some of them can kind of get repetitive, but various sectors, so like a mother base in combat, the combat, group, the R&D group, the intel group, intelligence group, and all that. So yeah, Watch Dogs 2 for its hacking, definitely for its hacking. The ability to hack into, camera systems and, bank accounts and cars. The car hacking is very fun. Street lights and, cranes, construction areas and doors and lifts and all that. So many things to hack in the game. The driving as well is improved from Watch Dogs 1. Everything from the shooting, the cover system, a protagonist in certain areas is better, right? Some of it is kind of quirky and cheesy. Some of the characters are kind of cheesy, right? Not playing the game, but the story, it's about, evil corporation, right? Then you have to take it down. A vigilanteism. It's kind of a vigilanteism. You guys are like a vigilante, kind of in a way, right? So yeah, there's a networking as well, like online play, which I never played. There's challenges, driving challenges, dirt bike challenges, right? Boat challenges, time trials, and all that. So yeah, the Watch Dogs 2, I remember, a lot, mostly a lot about hacking, a lot to do with hacking, right? Same thing to Watch Dogs 1. This one, there is even more hacking. Uncharted 4, probably my favorite genre of gaming is action adventure game. Same deal here like with God of War 2018. Uncharted 4, let's start off here. Uncharted 4, right? The sequences, the Hollywood-based sequences, the fast-paced action sequences, the cinematics, the dialogue. The dialogue is amazing. The voice acting is amazing, right? The graphics are amazing, right? Presentation-wise, this is one of the best PS4 games. Uncharted 4 as well, the shooting mechanics are very well done. Stealth, there is some stealth, I believe. There is the grappling hook wing, swing or whatever. So yeah, on Uncharted 4, right? There is like a small conflict between Nathan, like and his brother, and the past and all that. There is flashbacking sequences too as well, which I'm not like a big fan of flashbacking, but yeah, it gives more context to the character and the lore of Uncharted. Puzzles as well, puzzles and extra lore and documents, and yeah, Uncharted is amazing. Uncharted 4 is amazing. God of War 2018. Probably my favorite PS4 game, right? So God of War 2018, action adventure type style. They changed the genre. I was skeptical of God of War 2018, and before it came out 6 years ago, I was skeptical. But playing the game, oh my God, this game is impressive. From the very first time I threw the axe, right, and mechanics, it feels very impressive. A relationship, a chemistry between Kratos and Atreus done so well. Some of the best voice acting in a game ever, right? 2018 played it safe in that, there wasn't a whole lot of characters. There wasn't a whole lot of characters compared to a Ragnarok, which came after, like for the PS5. But 2018, like, just amazing. They just did like an amazing job, right? And especially because, again, this is like a semi-open world. Semi-open world, a lake of 9. You can go to various areas, find more collectibles. And every area you go to feels brand new, like a brand new area, right? So, and then it feels different. It feels very different than the previous areas that I built, I've been to, right? Swamp areas, bridge areas, right? Ancient mountain areas, right? And yeah, there's lots to see like in this world, right? The Viking lore, the Viking mythology, Norse mythology, and hearing a lot about Thor and Odin and Freya, right? There's this world that was there's this world that was once there, but you guys are seeing the aftermath of it, right? A world that was kind of at least like in the Lake of Nine area, right? Which is basically a flooded, right? Like a world that's been changed, right? And yeah, it's again collectibles as well. Trying to get platinum trophy, I remember. But yeah, God of War 2018, man, this is very special. Tekken 7, right? Tekken 7, man. Tekken 7, one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite. One of the easiest fighting games for me to get into. I'm not really much into fighting games, but so many easy trophies in this game. Tons of easy trophies like in this game. Doing the tournament style. There's like a tower mode, I believe. There's like arcade mode. There's a story mode as well. And yeah, I just really like the combat. The combat like in this game is very much, for me, right? It's not too. This one though is not too hard. It's not too easy, right? But yeah, like it feels just right for me. Tekken 8, like it's just right around at the corner. But yeah, a 7, man, definitely. 7, definitely. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which I talked about a lot. Play as cop, play as racer. Each side has its own, will have its own, a mission, a selection or a progression system. So the police or the racer, and then the better, like overall, you get, the better cards you get over time, right? Every event, so there's so many events and levels. Every event will have like a bronze, silver, gold, right? And the better you do at the gold, and the more XP you get. The more XP you get, the quicker you unlock the next classes of cars, right? So you go from, the BMWs, I believe there's, a Toyotas in the game, or, the slower Porsches, to the Lamborghinis, to the Koenigseggs, the crazy rare classes like of cars, Paganis, the, McLarens, right? So yeah, like the better overall you get over time like in the game, right? And yeah, time trials, which I suck at in the game. Time trials I'm not good at. Rapid responses too. But the hot pursuit races, that's what I will always remember. Hot pursuit was amazing. Like the hot pursuit type races, right? So where you are the cop chasing the racers, or you are one of the racers, trying to win a race while you're trying to escape like from the cops, and then there's multiple cops. Just fun action, very fun action. These Hollywood, these crazy, very crazy Hollywood, driving sequences too, like as well. And yeah. So yeah, the most memorable PS4 games, right? Ratchet and Clank 2 as well. Ratchet and Clank 2016. This is the remake of the original. Amazing. Ratchet and Clank is just amazing, right? What I love about Ratchet and Clank is the attention to detail in, the various weapons. So choosing various weapons and, You know, every weapon using, you know, the further like along you get, right? The more the weapons get upgraded, the more you get to use them against different enemies. The challenges, all those things like Ratchet and Clank 2016, right? Yeah, Just Cause 3, which is the last one. Just Cause 3 for the traversal, right? At traversal. The wingsuit, the grappling hook, you can grapple onto anywhere within range. The planes, jets, you can literally drive anything. Construction vehicles, planes, jets, boats, jet skis, right? Military boats, military planes, anything like at all you find in the world. Liberation areas, so liberating various mini town areas. Yeah, the story, you know, that is what it is, right? It's Just Cause, but like it's just very fun. Like just the gameplay wise, it's just very fun. Constant fun to be had. Constant fun. They upgraded, you know, there's various variations like of the grappling hook itself, right? There's various, you know, types of, I believe, or no, that was Just Cause 4 where they added in the different types of C4s. But yeah, this one, man, it is amazing. Just Cause 3, absolutely amazing game. So yeah, most memorable PS4 games. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.